that laid out a blueprint, but somebody got to follow it. It's like, the work can be laid out for you, but somebody has to actually do the work. And a lot of times people think that, even, I mean, we talk about this with random diets or workout programs or whatever. It's like they're there as blueprints, but they're
You gotta follow them.
nothing if you don't follow them.
Mm.
So, and I always say all the time, it's like, hey, if I got the knowledge, I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm not your hero. You're the hero. You just needed a map. You know what I mean? So you're the one who did the trek. You're the one that made it happen. So, and that goes out to anybody. Like, don't ever think, and I don't mean that in a bad way or in a disrespectful way, because you could always say, hey, man, I appreciate you giving out a blueprint or letting us know what's good, because at the end of the day, you're your own hero and nobody's going to come and save you. And so you need to make sure that if you've got a blueprint, execute it.
Try to live well and prosper. Don't trust your doctor. Ruthless with my wordplay. No, I'm not a shotter, but I got them hits, man, coming straight out the barrio. That's why I'm hip hop sicario. I like my privacy. I show out every now and then.
Welcome back to the Rolo Runs the City podcast. I am your host, Rolo, and I am here with the specialist of all guests today. I have my daughter here, Karina Carabello. Say hi to the camera, Karina.
Hi to the camera, Karina.
There we go. And today is a special episode because this episode is basically about how she thinks I did as a dad, as she was birthed on February 15th.
As I was birthed. Don't put my date of birth on the
yeah. As she was birthed on February 15th, a long, long time ago. And
hypothetically.
She how she was raised and everything, and we're gonna try to pick her brain. And I felt that this was gonna be a great episode to put together today because parenting is a very big part, of course, not only of what we do on a daily basis as human beings, but of course, I thought it was something that would be, greatly touched on this podcast, because obviously we're all about personal and professional development. Therefore, on all aspects of life, we need to make sure that we try to do what we can to level up any way we can. So, without further ado, go ahead and I introduced Karina, but Karina, let them know who you are and what you're about.
Hi, I'm Karina. I go by Kari. I am currently in the military and going to school to become an officer in the U.S. Army. I'm his kid. I also have a baby brother that's also
that also belongs to me.
It also belongs to him. And I really like video games. I like weightlifting. We have twinning injuries, so that's really fun. Yay!
Amazing.
Yes.
She also suffered a little back setback, but she's recovering. Slowly but surely she'll be back on the wagon. She'll be okay.
We'll hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Outstanding. Well, I appreciate that you are here, dear. So, without further ado, no, not yet, because we got to put out the particulars. Okay. Obviously, feel free to hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at Rolo Runs the City Podcast, as well as Rolo Runs the City Music. And you could also find me on TikTok at Rolo Runs the City _, as well as what? Yes, I have a TikTok.
What? I was not around for this.
I'm not doing dances though. I'm not doing.
I was not around for this.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not doing dances, not like that. Not like that. I'm also on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, but of course it's now X, at Rolo Runs the City, as well as if you look at any of the platforms on where you get streaming at, you could look up Rolo Runs the City. You'll either run into either the podcast or the music. Feel free to enjoy both. And don't forget, all things Rolo is RoloRunsTheCity.com. That is RoloRunsTheCity.com. Feel free to check out everything I got going on there. Got merch, got everything, man. So without further ado, let's get on with this podcast. Okay. So I've got some questions here for Karina.
I've currently been cheating on the test because I was looking at the
She was looking at my stuff. You see that? So I'm glad that her integrity is there, that she is a certified. Just because the water boy's a cheater doesn't mean we're not going to kick some cougar ass. You see? So there you go. That's a water boy reference for all you.
We make a lot of references together. That's our thing.
So that's what we do. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and look. Evidently, she was prepping for the test. She was kind of scared because
I only know one question.
She was going to ask, like, she asked me, she's like, Dad, you're not going to ask me any off the wall things, right? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. That could be, but I'm not going to. we can go unscripted, but let's see what we got. Okay, so my first question is, what do you think of me as a dad? What's the first thing that comes to mind, Miss Karina?
I think that you are very passionate. Um, you get a little angry, but you also have like a very like he's like to me he's like a mix between if Raphael and Michelangelo were the same Ninja Turtle, if that makes sense. Like he's always been very strict, but also he loves very intensely. And so I feel like it's made me who I am today, of course. But like off camera, he's a very big goofball, but he's also very stern and he knows what he knows like what the standard is. He sets the standard and he makes sure that me and Jackson fall in line. And I mean, I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for you being like that. So,
I greatly appreciate that, and of course, Mama has a great deal to do with that as well
yes, of
because
course.
that's where they get their intelligence from. They get the hard work from me. I mean, Mom works hard too, but it's like she's not a one trick pony like myself. I'm kind of like the dum dum here, but I always say if you know everything, you might as well go ahead and just jump off your nearest bridge because there's nothing else you need to learn in
He
life.
does
So
tell me that.
you need to make sure that you're always being a student while you're learning. So as long as I feel like I am the dumbest man in the room, that means I don't have to go to a new room because I have to keep learning from the people that are in there. So
I also copy that too.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You don't want to be the what do they call it? I think it's like the king of mediocrity because if that's the case, then you're not growing, you're not getting better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's an amazing thing, Karina, and thank you for that compliment, by the way. And
You're welcome.
you may say some things that may upset me, and we'll deal with that off camera after some of these questions. All right, so I got another question for you. Okay,
Okay.
what's something I did well as a parent that shaped who you are today?
I feel like I'm trying to use you remember that quote where it's like the word I'm searching for right now.
Mm.
I can't say it because there's preschool toys present.
Yeah,
So
that's old school right there.
I'm trying to use appropriate language. I've been trying to clean it up. But I feel like you didn't put up with a lot of BS. And it was very important for me because you consistently like pushed me to go do new things. But you also wouldn't let me just like sandbag either
Mhm.
when I tried those new things. And I feel like that made me better and also just kind of taught me the importance of like whether you like it or not, something's gonna have to get done. And I carry that on today. And
That's good.
yeah.
Well, I mean, that's one thing's for sure. Like for me, right? I always say to myself, because you don't ever want to be stagnant,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're stagnant, like just piggybacking off of the last thing, then you might as well just dig a hole and just jump in it. But you know what? A lot of those lazy ass folks, they'll just lay on the ground and wait till they die because they ain't gonna dig a hole because that requires work.
Yeah, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want, be a plant in the corner and be okay. And it's something like Jim
Was it
Rohn.
Jim?
Yeah, Jim
Yes.
Rohn used to say that. He's like, you be a plant in the corner. So, I think it's good that whenever you're trying to make sure that you're doing new things, and it could be anything, man. Like I always emphasize all the time with my son, where he was actually a very picky eater as he was growing up. Obviously, for guys that are new to the show, he has autism. So, they could become very monolithic and set in their ways. And, fortunately for him, he's been a great creature of adaptability. But I always say, even at the smallest things, even with his diet, that he's drastically opened up. Karina was surprised today. He was eating ice cream. She's like, why he eat ice cream from a
Picked that
cone?
up when I wasn't here. It's
Exactly.
crazy. Yeah.
So, it's always like, in this, we're not talking about health choices right now, but we're just opening up his palate. So then that way, whenever things come to him, he'll eat it. And he eats very healthy. He has a very good diet. In fact, he doesn't eat a lot of candy and he doesn't eat a lot of sweets and stuff like that. So
But he's very selective.
yeah, so to see him to do that is just a testament to what we always try to do. We always tell him like we used to watch Pete the Cat all the time on Amazon Prime, and
Three
they would
bite
say to
rule.
do the 3 bite rule. It's like, hey man, take 3 bites. If you don't like it, then at least you tried it. And that's with anything in life. It's like don't shut anything off because you never know what you could be missing. So I think that was a great point there, Miss Karina. Great point. Okay, next question for
You're
you.
not gonna like this one.
I'm sure I'm not. Do you ever feel I was too hard on you or too strict? Stop looking at my damn questions.
Sorry.
Trying to prep.
Definitely, like, as a teenager, yes. I say that like I wasn't a teenager 2 months ago.
Well, you know, I mean, you're in your 20s now, so.
Yes, definitely. Do I see why it paid off now? Yes, because I don't put up with, I almost said the word again.
Yeah.
I don't put up with BS.
There you go.
I don't. And
Yeah.
I noticed like there's a clear difference like where I go to school, because you have like people that are like prior service, you have people that are like me, and I went to like a prep school or junior college first, and then you have like kids that came straight out of high school. You can clearly tell like some people did not get their ass beat enough, and they're just like, oh, there goes your alarm.
Was that my alarm?
That's your alarm.
Where did I put my phone at?
Time out.
Thank you, Karina.
You're welcome.
Shut that damn alarm off. So you mean that's
I'm
for
gonna
me?
miss your freaking 8 o'clock and
There
9
you
o'clock
go.
alarms. He started doing that. I don't know when.
That's for me to take my old people vitamins before I get ready to go ahead and lay it down. But yeah, so in reference to like with kids going,
It's like weaponized incompetence.
Yeah, it's like
It pisses me off actually.
Yeah, the maturity factor there is not there either. I'm pretty sure that you're able to see, and it's funny because right now it's like you're able to see there's a lot of kids your age that they're getting ready to graduate from the school.
Feel kind of left behind. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, but I mean, like I say, your time's coming. You just have to you have to dive into it. But I'm sure that you can see that there's a big disparity between those and even if it's like a year or two, it's like damn, it's like the maturity level is not there, and it's because of the lack of experience. And we always talk about that too, is the fact that experience is your best teacher, and you can't discount. Like I don't discount anybody on how young they are, and just because they are young, like there's a lot of people that have been through a world of hurt at such an early age where they've able to actually calibrate and learn from a lesson and build grit throughout that, and then
More so about like the character of the person.
Yeah, I mean
that's how I judge.
Like right now, I mean, let's be honest, man. They may be some 45-year-olds, 50-year-olds that still live with mom, and we'll bring that up in a minute. That's still living with mom, mom and dad all got it all figured out, living in the basement, starching their sock, and not and not doing what they're supposed to do. Let's just be honest. Like, look, tell them about Jerome.
Jerome?
Yeah, you remember that
Sasquatch?
one? No, not well.
I genuinely don't remember who Jerome is. We just had like this little Sasquatch we nicknamed Jerome because it would like piss off my mom whenever we'd say it. But I don't know who actual Jerome is.
All right, so if you remember when we went out, I believe we were in Hiawassee. We went up and we were looking at
like
Instagram.
The Sasquatch.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we see.
That's where we had the Sasquatch.
That's where we got the little Sasquatch toy from, right? But there was a guy, we were looking at Instagram Reels one day. She was like, Dad, look at this. And it was a dude, he was like in his mid-50s, right? No lie. His name was Jerome, right? And this guy was still living with his parents, and they were just pissed off. I think they were like old Italians or something, right? And you remember
about the
guy?
He
wasn't a kid. He was a grown-ass man.
He had the mentality of a kid.
So he had the mentality of a kid. And, we try not to judge because... especially now that we we have a child with autism, that we understand a lot of times where there may be several delays. Like my son's super advanced in math,
but
right?
Mentally he's like 8.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but if you need directions, he's gonna tell you wherever the hell you need to go. Like he's a human GPS. I mean, he's a stud in math. Like he's able to do. Like right now he's still in elementary school, but he's able to do middle school math. Like he knows the PEMDAS, like, how to break things down and what goes in priority in reference to PEMDAS operations in math. Like he knows how to do all that, right? So he's super advanced in math, right? But to have this boy like be actually like very mature, like his maturity is not there. So we're not knocking anybody for that. But eventually I know, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? My son, if he's 55 years old, he's not going to be thinking, I know he's not going to think like a 55-year-old, but hell, he's not going to be
in this house.
He's not going to be in this house thinking he's 15.
He might be with me.
But the whole point is that he's going to be very mature in reference to, and it's an expectation that we have. We don't limit him, but we let him know too, like what you don't know, you can't work on, but if you know it, then it has to be worked on.
Mhm.
You know, like we talk about it all the time. You never know if there's a problem. There's no problem if you don't think there is one to address, so you're just not going to address it. But it's like for the most part, it's like, hey, if you know better, do better. So we always implement that as well in the house. So so we seen this guy, and that's
He's
one of
playing
my.
video games all day, pissing off his parents because he didn't do anything
But
in the
he knows
house.
better because he's obviously manipulating the system at this point. But they
Mhm.
think he doesn't know better, and you can obviously see. And they were going back and forth. So it was hilarious. We had this whole like Jerome thing going on. We got the little Sasquatch
You
toy
piss
that
off
that
mom with it to this day.
yeah, and it's funny as hell. But anyway, we kind of got off track. But
And like another, what I was gonna say is
uh,
like, I remember like they're very big on like, not they don't coddle me. I remember, I was like maybe like 16. No, actually, you told me this when I was small too. They
uh,
told me this several times. Basically, they both went to the army, and that's how like they started financially, because they both didn't start off with much. And so like they're always like your ceiling. I mean, my ceiling is your floor. So like my mom tells me, she's like, I'm not paying for your school, cuz she got her school paid through the army. Um and so like when I was getting ready to like start thinking about either going to the military or just going to college, they were like, "Hey, so you need to have a plan because graduation comes, you're not going to be in this house anymore." I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, like you're either going to the military or you're going to school. You better figure it out." I'm like, "Okay." And I'm not paying for your school. Okay. But that also taught me like the importance of like ownership of your own future, because like I don't find anything wrong with having like a college fund for your kids, but I feel like for me, I take my school stuff so much more seriously because I know I had to put foot to ass to get there, and I did it. Well, of course he helped me, but like the whole point is like we did it ourselves. Like I didn't have any handouts. I had to fight tooth and nail for my schooling opportunities. So,
we mentioned that. I mentioned that in the last episode where I said I laid out a blueprint, but somebody got to follow it. It's like the work can be laid out for you, but somebody has to actually do the work. And a lot of times people think that even I mean, we talk about this with random diets or workout programs or whatever. It's like they're there as blueprints, but they're
you gotta follow them.
nothing if you don't follow them.
Mhm.
So, and I always say all the time, it's like, hey, if I got the knowledge, I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm not your hero. You're the hero. You just needed a map. You know what I mean? So you're the one who did the trek. You're the one that made it happen. So and that goes out to anybody. Like, don't ever think, and I don't mean that in a bad way or in a disrespectful way, because you could always say, hey man, I appreciate you giving out a blueprint or letting us know what's good, because at the end of the day, you're your own hero and nobody's going to come and save you. And so you need to make sure that if you've got a blueprint, execute on it.
Except
Period.
when dad does come and save you, like a lot, because you
Literally.
make stupid mistakes in
Literally.
the application process.
Yeah, and everything. But anyway, it is what it is, right? Okay, next question, right? What's one thing you wish I would have done differently while raising you?
Mm, that's a great question. Cause I know that growing up, you and I used to like. I'm really my father's daughter, and like sometimes our personalities do not work out very well together. But like I've being out of the house for 2 years, I've grown to appreciate a lot of what he taught me, because I noticed I'm very different from like I'm very different from the way that some other people were raised. So I have to think about that. Maybe a second.
Well, that's a good thing. I think I'll be honest with you, and I'm a piggyback a little bit. Maybe you'll agree or maybe you'll disagree. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I will say this for me, one thing that I wish that I would have done differently, like she was my little buddy until she was like 5 years old.
Oh, we used to butt heads every day after that.
So like after that, like she got to a point where she got on my damn nerves.
Oh
And
yeah, because
I
you had
didn't
the
want
phases.
and
I
I
do it
didn't
with Jackson too.
and I didn't want to deal with her a lot. I'm be honest with you. I mean, it's like I love you, but I don't like you
I
right
was
now.
also annoying.
So she
Very.
used to annoy the hell out of me. And I mean, I've got pictures. If I can find the pictures, I don't care. I'll put them on the podcast,
Holy
like
shit.
on the audio of me just like kind of having patience and me actually yelling at her, right? So, like I said, man, I'm always working on, I'm always working on the rage, right? But but for me, I wish that I would have just been a little bit more patient because I'm not gonna lie, it's something that I did do a lot, especially as a younger dad, where I would blow up a lot because I'm like, I'm not understanding. Like, I got to put my mind ahead of a 7 year old, and I'm not thinking like that. So instead of like kind of getting angry like a 7 year old, I should have said, "Hey, think like a 7 year old. Think about what they're thinking, and kind of back up a little bit."
Because a
So
lot
I
of time I didn't understand what was going on either in my own head.
exactly. So and I know,
Yeah.
and I find out, like I said, like I've been a lot more patient with Jackson,
I make
obviously,
fun of him for it,
you
actually.
know. And she's just like, "Why
I'm like,
weren't you
what the
like that?
hell?
What?"
Like, you would have beat
Yeah,
me.
there you go. Now I'm an abuser, right? No, no,
Hey!
but it's true. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you just get upset, and and I would blow up. I'm not gonna lie about that. And and for anybody to think, trust me, I do not try to come off as being perfect, man. I always say it all the time. I'm the most flawed individual that you'll meet. I have a lot of anger issues that I try to deal with
The toolbox.
internally. Um, yes,
He has a
I
toolbox.
went through anger management. I'm not gonna lie, through the VA. Like I've done all this stuff, and I'm not gonna lie because there's things for me. I feel honestly like if you're not recognizing that there's a problem, then you are the problem.
Hmm.
So I think it's absolutely important when people understand that they're like, okay, I got some aggression issues that need to be handled. Not only does it help you with your relationships that you have with your family, but it also helps you, better internally with yourself. But I don't believe either in suppressing your anger. People ask me all the time. They say they won't believe how old I am, right? They're like, "Damn, you're like a lot of times," and I'm not lying. She can attest to this. They would think that I was her older brother
Yes.
all the time. But the reason being is I don't let things fester inside of me. I just know now I'm a little bit more tactful on how I actually convey my message as opposed to just kind of blowing up because I don't think people should bottle in their feelings either because it gets festered up all inside. Dude, that's how, people start, just they advance their aging process. They're actually cooking themselves inside a lot more because that anger is not being dealt with. So anyway, but I think that's something that I could have done a lot different. I think I could have been a little bit more patient,
I
but
agree with that. Yeah.
but I will say that with me not being like that either, it also taught her like I need to have a sense of urgency. Like she used to walk around a lot like I mean for real. She used to walk
I'm
around like
scared.
life was infinite. Like she was like, "Oh, I got forever." I'm like, "Dude, time is finite. Like you got to start treating it like
I
that."
think it also really helped me for like prepping for the military too because like I feel like I dealt with it. Like I of course still broke in some cases and I was like this freaky sucks.
Yeah.
But like reception day and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I was able to handle it a lot better.
And I told her, I said, "You survived 18 years in my house.
I'll be fine.
I said, you're gonna be all right, man. Ain't nothing these folks can do to you. Trust me." And it's funny because she had I don't want to drop. I mean, I know her name. It starts with an L, of course. She's a Miss. We'll call her Miss L. She was in her.
I'm trying to
That's
guess.
funny that
I'm
you
trying to
had
think of who this is.
you actually had she was one of the counselors in the career academy, but and it's funny because you actually had a teacher that her name was Miss L, but that's not who we're talking
We
about.
love her.
But
We
that's not
love
who we're
her.
talking
I
about.
love her so
But
much.
she came up to me one day. She's like, "Your daughter's so sweet," and I was like, "Well, thank you." And her last name's with a Y, of course, right?
I
Yeah,
love her.
yeah.
I love her. I love her. I
So
love
she was
her.
so sweet,
Oh my
right? She
gosh.
tells me she's like, "Mr. Carabello, your daughter's so sweet. Your son's so well behaved and polite." And it's funny because like this is Jackson we talking about. He's a wild card, right? But he does the best he can to hold himself in. She's like, "You need to write a book on parenting." I'm like, you know what? I may have to take you up on that. But I said I want to make sure that our little girl gets to where she needs to get to first, and then we'll see what kind of work we can do. But I thought it was very nice of her, very sweet. But I know, like I said, for myself, that my main thing is to make sure that I always try to keep calm. And like I said, everybody deals with their own issues, but just understand that there's issues to deal with. Don't avoid them. So I think that's cool. So yeah, that's something that I would work on, and I would recommend because you have your issues that you have to deal with and all that stuff. But just acknowledging it and working on
Mhm.
it. That's how you get better, man.
And finding support. I found a lot of support
Mhm.
from like my school resources and also just like from some of my absolute closest friends that I consider like brothers.
There you go. All
Helped me
right.
so much.
Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. All right. Next question. Did my disciplined style of parenting help you or did it hinder your growth?
Helped so much. Helped so much.
Helped so much. Go ahead and
I
elaborate.
I swear, like I'm not the most disciplined person ever, but it helped me realize a couple things. Firstly, it made me realize from an early age that I needed to go to the military because I currently feel like it, at least at the time, I didn't feel like I was going to be able to have the discipline it took for me to maintain like the life that I want to live. And that's still something I'm working on, but help me realize that first. The other thing is it helped me realize that like again with the no BS thing, like there's no excuse for a lot of things. Learned that during my basic training iterations too. Like there's no excuse for mediocrity. Like you have to do what you're told to do because it's what you were put on this earth to do. You have to
Love
follow
that.
through.
Love that.
Um yeah, just taught me like a lot about being like you weren't put on this earth to be like everyone else. You have your own individual calling. And for you to be, I'm about to go on a religious
You're
soapbox,
fine. Go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Like, I firmly believe, like, I went to the military because I feel like that was my calling that God gave me. Because I have, like, I don't feel like I have any other calling except, like, maybe retiring and opening my own, like, game store. And, like, because I love collecting video game stuff and
Mm-hmm.
cards. Oh my gosh. Um, but, like, I feel like God put me here for that reason. So for me to not do what I'm supposed to do, like you're wasting you're wasting what he put you here for. You're going against what he designed for you. And he also taught me that a lot too. Like you have one job on this earth. I mean, yes, you have multiple. I'm assuming. But like overall you have one job on this earth and that is to please your creator and to do what he put you on this earth to do. So if you're not doing that, you're failing.
I agree. I love that. I love that. That's a great take.
Thank you.
And like
I got a
we
little
would
serious.
drive. We would no, it's cool because no, like, and I'm gonna piggyback off of that. If you remember, we were driving around. This it was a couple days ago, and we seen this. I seen this fat guy on the side of the road, and I told Karina, I said, "You see that guy?" She's like, "Yeah. What about him, Dad?" I said, "You know what I see?" She's like, "What?" And I'm like, "A collection of bad decisions." And I don't mean that disrespectfully. What I'm saying is sometimes we get down in this hole and we don't realize that we dug ourselves in this hole until we look up and we realize we can't climb out of it. You know what I mean? And it's not impossible to get out of the hole, but you have to recognize, dude, you are in the freaking hole.
It takes time
And it
and
takes
a lot of
time.
effort.
It's like anybody who wants to create change in their life, they think that it's going to happen within a year or it's going to happen within 18 months or it's going to happen within 3 or 4 months. And that's the problem that I have with a lot of these people. Then you have influencers out here, whether it be financial influencers, fitness influencers, or whatever. They start selling you this stuff. It's like, oh, join my 30-day challenge. Or you see this stuff
It's a fad.
yeah, it's a fad. You say, oh, do this exercise right here. First of all, you can't spot reduce on any body part, especially the gut. So you're not gonna have 6-pack abs in 30 days and your ass is 300 pounds. It's not gonna happen, okay? But the whole thing is, you have to remember, it didn't take you a day to get there. So it's not going to take you a day to get out of it. It
Mm.
took a collection of decisions. So when she seen that, it made sense to her. She was like, damn. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, for every bad decision that was made, your body is keeping the score. And ultimately, now you look, you don't ran the score up the other way. It's not gonna take forever for you because the body's resilient. I mean, think about it, like it's God given, and we are very God like. That's the problem with a lot of people. They don't understand that they are. But you are the child of the Most High God. Whether if you're a believer, you believe in Allah, Buddha. We talk about whether you pray to a cow, the universe, whatever it is. There's a power that's greater than you, and you are a replica of that power. So if you don't recognize that, you'll never tap into your full potential. But I always say it all the time, like it didn't take you a day to get there. It's not gonna take you a day to get out. So the equal time that it took you, the great thing is that it can take you 2 times as fast to get out of it than you got into it. But there's a big discipline factor that has to get put into play. So anyway, but yeah, but that's what I think about that. I'm sorry. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. What's a lesson from me that you still hear in your head today? That's like, damn, like I remember
There's
this.
so many.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I have to think. I have to go back through the mental roller decks.
That's it, man. Pick one. Pick a hot one.
Mm,
Pick one that's gonna go viral for this episode. We'll clip it and put it as an Instagram reel or a YouTube short.
this guy.
Ah, let's get the word out to the people.
I'm so sorry. This is gonna take me a minute.
You're fine.
I'm sorting back.
You're fine. Well, look, we can go back to that. I can go to the next question. Then we can go back to that one.
Because I feel like a lot of my childhood, like, I remember that you and I used to be like butt heads a lot, and I wouldn't really remember why. I would just walk around every day and be like, oh, like I'm this way because I was just raised this way. Oh, I have a perfect one.
Good.
What you put out into the universe is what you get back. The law of reciprocity is a real thing. And if you start off the day like, can I say a-hole?
Good.
If you start out the day like an asshole and you're mean to literally everyone else around you, the day will bite you in the ass. God will punish you for being mean to everyone.
Because he keeps all the receipts.
He keeps all the receipts. And like it literally costs nothing to just be kind to someone and to be nice to them. And like there's so many days I would wake up like a freaking cranky little maniac and he'd have to check me. It was really bad. I remember those a lot. And that taught me the importance of like just being nice, because it's so easy. And not only that, but if you start off the day negative, like it ruins the course of everything else. I used to have the worst days ever because I would just start off being a little thing. Yeah.
I think that was a great one because I always just say that all the time too. So I'm pretty sure that still rings true today. I mean,
You say it to Jackson too.
That's good, and I do say it to Jackson because Jackson will get up all messed up, but he doesn't really get up like that anymore because he understands it. Like, dude, you want to be a craphead? Listen, this is what's gonna happen. And I tell him all the time. So I think that should be for everybody, for everyone to understand, and that should ring in everybody's head. It's like, dude, what you put into this world is what you're gonna get back.
Out.
So if you're putting in good work into the world, you're gonna get good coming back to you. If not, then it is what it is. You reap what you sow. All right. So I want to know: did you always understand why I parented the way I did, or did it make more sense to you as you became an adult?
It made more sense later on.
So you didn't quite really grasp that at that time.
Heck no. I would be like, this sucks. Oh my gosh. And I would just be angry all the time. I was a very angry teenager. But like now I understand why like you guys were very set on like, hey, like you're not going to sleepovers with like random people that like you know from school, but we don't really know them. I would have sleepovers with just like family friends or literally my cousins, and that was it. You guys also made sure that like I understood the importance of like a sense of urgency. The hurry up and wait thing is a real thing. Unfortunately, I've realized, and I haven't even realized that to the full extent yet. People just don't get that sometimes. And also just like following through. That was something that you harped on a lot. Like, you have to follow through with what you do.
It sucks.
Because otherwise, you're just like...
Yeah.
Like, if you just say things and you don't do them, then you're just like...
Your word doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Your word doesn't mean anything. And I'm a firm believer in that, too. And I say it all the time in the house. You know, obviously, you guys, it's Rolo Runs the City podcast because, you know, I run and it's amazing the life lessons that you realize that when you're running, even if you have headphones on, at some point
you start thinking about life.
You tune the music out, right? Especially if you're running an absolute long distance.
Me running my races, they have me running without headphones. Okay, I know that's normal for cross country runners, but like that gives you so much time to think.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You start thinking about stuff. And as you're thinking, you also you think to yourself like, I have to finish this. Like, there's no tagging somebody in. It's like, all right, man, I just ran 10 miles.
Hell no, you
Go
gotta
ahead and
keep
run the other
going.
3 for me so I can finish this half marathon. Or I just did 20, man. Just get this last 10K for me, man. And it's just not gonna happen.
I
You
almost
know what I'm
forget the
saying?
joke.
Yeah, like there's no tagging in like that. And that's one thing that I like about running. I don't like running. Trust me, and we talk about that all the time. I don't like running, but I know what the other side looks like, and we always talk about that. So the reason why I do like the aspect that I like about running is that all these answers that they just come to your head from all these questions that you've had, and you're like, damn, that's how I do this. That's how I do, dude. Ever since I've been running, like it's helped me figure out my music. It's helped me figure out my podcast. It's helped me figure out how to generate revenue on other avenues. And it's been amazing how to actually invest money, how to put money away, and it's crazy because I just be thinking about just some random stuff, but it's questions that I have. And some of y'all used to just Google and stuff. You got a question, you're gonna Google it, you get the answer. Dude, run. Do me a favor. Like if you're not used to running, dude, run a 5K. If you got some questions, just start running. You will start figuring things out.
From a person that used to race walk, my 5Ks, it's really not that hard. Just make sure you do proper recovery.
That's it, man.
Like
But
it just all you have to do is start
all the answers are there.
and get good shoes. Please don't run with bad running
Don't
shoes.
do
Holy
like
crap.
me.
Don't. I did it too.
I ran with basketball shoes.
No.
I had big ass
No.
basketball shorts,
No.
basketball shoes. I was holding my phone with some big ass headphones on my head.
Yep.
I was looking crazy as hell. I was like, they looked at me and said, this guy's not a damn runner. And I was hurting like hell. But I'm going to tell you like this. I got into the proper gear, did what I was supposed to do.
Changes everything.
It changes everything, man. I was running a 34-minute 5K and dropped down to a 25, 26. Obviously, but you start taking things into consideration, you know? So anyway, all right. Next question. Moving on. What was something that about our home, about mom and myself, that made you feel safe and supported? If you felt that way.
I did.
Okay.
I did. I would have to say, like, knowing that you guys would go to the end of the earth for me, and you guys proved it every day. They have sacrificed so much for me to get where I am. He sacrificed so much for my brother specifically, of course for me, but like, it's like the little things, like, oh, like, supposedly I got accused of like a 7-year-old. Why would you trust a 7-year-old with a $25 bill? So I thought, I forgot what happened.
$20 bill, not $25.
$20. So my teacher gave it to me to go give to someone else to pay for something. And then I forgot what it was. I think they mistook it and thought that I was the one like buying something, but it was like, no, that was for my teacher. And then my teacher's like, hey, where's the bill? And then I got accused of like taking it. And these two, my mom was about to like take the day off from work and about to go transfer me to her school because they're like, dude, my kid did not take a $20 bill. She doesn't understand what the hell is going on. And they like heard my story and everything. We were up until like 11 the night before. And I was telling them everything from my perspective and what I knew because I didn't know what the hell was going on. My dad used to drive me to karate like, what, 3-4 times a week?
About 4 times a week, yeah.
Yeah. And my mom, sometimes when I went to school and work with her, she used to like take me straight from work, which she would work super late. And she would take me and then go work in the car. My dad used to like, he eventually, after taking so many days off of work because Jackson would get sick, he had to start working from home just so that way we knew that Jackson was taken care of because he was like developing like little health issues because of the conditions. It just wasn't like ideal. They sacrificed so much for me, and knowing that I could lean on them to support me and like whatever went wrong and like the worst days helped me feel very safe.
Amazing. I appreciate that. I love you too.
I didn't mean to air out your dirty laundry.
No, it's cool. I mean, I appreciate it. That's what it's about, man. I'm all about transparency. I ain't got nothing to hide out here.
Sorry. I'm not, I was gonna say.
All right. Next question. What's one thing that I may have said or done that's helped build your confidence through your journey, especially you getting into college and everything, what was something that you were like I feel like that I can run through a brick wall if I need to.
This is
Like,
gonna sound very stupid
no, go
to
ahead, man.
people that like don't do contact like fighting sports. Um, I did karate for what, like 6 or 7 years.
No, no, you
A
did it
really
since
long time.
you started since
Yeah.
you were 4, and then you became a second degree black belt by the time you were 14,
hmm
14 or
I had
15.
time on and off
Yeah.
between them, but yeah, like one big thing before every sparring match, whenever dad was there, he would like we put on my headgear, I like clench my mouth guard, and he like freaking like dun dun to my helmet. And that made me feel so freaking badass and made me feel like I could beat up whoever I wanted to. Of course, like in a disciplined and respectful way. But like I felt like I could conquer anything.
Well, that's what if people understand, like it's banging out nerves to get you engaged in what you're about to do. So, like for me, when I played football, which I don't recommend anybody do this.
No,
I don't even
no.
recommend. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I love the game and everything, but I just see the detrimental things that are happening with people who are suffering from CTE and things like that. It's sad, to be quite honest with you. But I know, like before a game, what I would do is I would get with a teammate of mine and we would start banging helmets and
Okay, that's a little
basically
crazy.
that what we were doing was we were banging out the nerves. So I wouldn't hit her hard because I'm
No,
like
it'd be like a
I just want her to be like boom boom, I get real quick, and then that way it's like, okay, I wanted to bang those nerves out of her, which is what we did.
I used to be
So
scrappy. Ooh. Ooh.
that's the reason why I did it, because I always used to tell her all the time. I said, and then I would tell her too. I don't think she remembers, but I used to tell her too. I said, "This is the only time you're getting hit in your head," because what I was telling her was
I do
protect your.
remember you
I
told
would
me
tell her
that.
that so she could protect her head, so she could dodge or evade somehow or
That
block.
happened a lot.
So then that way,
Yeah.
a lot of times she was able to move and be swift for what she's doing, because she'd be like, "Dad told me this is the only time I need to get my head hit. I don't need to be getting hit by my opponent," and she would do well by doing that. The only time she took a few knocks was
Oh my god, they were so bad. In the face,
when she
in the
did the Ring
nose.
of Fire when you were
That
running
was
your black belt
gritty.
testing.
I came out of that test and I had like a bruise, like I had like
Yeah.
a bruise right there for a good solid couple days,
But
and you could tell.
for context, she was fighting against 5 different people.
Yeah,
So she would be a person in the middle. There, people will circle around. First person comes up, she's sparring with them.
and it'd be a minute each
It'd be
person.
a minute each
Yeah,
person. They come back out. Next 60 seconds, next person's coming in. So
it's
it's almost
gritty.
like
It's gritty.
it's almost like they're getting into a gang and they're getting about to get jumped by the opposing gang members. Except they're going one at a time, but they have to fight 5 minutes straight. So
It sounds a lot worse than it is. I mean, it is hard and it is really tiring, but there is a certain level of like adrenaline that kicks in and just
hmm
like I miss the feeling of being in the ring because it just made me competitive
yeah.
and it was really fun. I personally think the Ring of Fire was very fun.
I think that's amazing. I like that. I
You'd
like
be
that you went to.
hurting
I
very
think that you
bad,
went to
but
that. All right. From your experience,
hmm
you can be very honest, and I'm going to
he's gonna edit as a
I'm gonna edit it out, and we're gonna have a sparring session myself if I get a bad grade. What do you grade me as your father in reference to from an A to an F? What is my grade on parenting, and how did you come up with this grade? And you can be very honest. You can be very subjective. It's
I would
okay.
say a B plus to an A minus, and only
Mm.
because of the patience thing.
Yeah, I think so.
And
I
like
think that was a
praising me
big.
more.
Yeah, I think that was a big knock.
He was very big on like when you praise people too much, they get complacent, which is true to a certain
Yes,
effect. But there were some times that I think I
she
needed it
needed
a
it.
lot.
I agree.
And dad was like, dad always, because I was his only kid for like the longest time.
hmm
So like there's like this saying, they're like the eldest daughter is gonna be like raised like the son that the dad never
hmm
had. So I was raised like not like a boy. Of course, he taught me how like he's very big on like me being a girly girl, but
Princess,
like
warrior
he didn't put up
princess.
with bull, and he was very hard on me. it helped me in the long run, but in the moment, there were like some times that I really needed your support, and I just like was
And
like,
that I understand,
yeah.
and I accept that grade. I think that's a great grade, but I will say this. And
Wait, how would you rate me as a kid?
oh
Oh,
no, dude, you were A plus, man. And I'll tell you why, because you were always bright as a child, very bright, very creative, very outgoing,
very crazy.
um, crap attitude a lot of times. That is a knock,
That's why I think the A plus is a little
your
high.
shine you shined a lot more than not. So that was a great
Thanks.
thing.
I appreciate
But
that.
I'm going to tell you this, and it's something that I didn't do, which is something that I should have did more. Yeah, I should have been a little bit more praiseworthy. But I will say this, because of those characteristics that were instilled in you being young, it helped you big time
Yes, it did.
as an adult. And the reason why is because a lot of people get complacent because they're like, oh, like they feel like they've arrived.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's like, man, dad didn't give me my kudos the way he should have, you're going to be like, damn, I'm glad that he didn't, because, people are like, oh, you got a chip on your shoulder. Like, and I'm going to keep it on too. And if you think you can knock it off, then come right ahead and come and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if you can knock the damn chip on my. You know what? All the greats have a chip on their shoulder. That's how the hell they became great. You know,
Never
that's
decided
the
who you
power
were.
lifter that's freaking lifting freaking so many kilos, pounds, or whatever the hell, whatever country, whether it's imperial or metric system, whatever the hell you follow, that's how they're pushing that thing out. Okay, that's how Jordan done missed so many damn shots, and Kobe done missed so many damn shots, and then happened to make those shots and won games and won championships. Clutch players doing what they do, men in business who have freaking went bankrupt 8 or 9 times, that their business is flourishing long after they're gone. That's what keeps people going. So it's like I hate that I wasn't more praiseworthy, but
It taught me to be self-sufficient, have confidence in myself.
yes, when
I had
she's
to
in
praise
her
myself.
50s and 60s and she's well off, she's like, damn, I hated that I didn't go through this. But imagine if he would have been like that, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
Not
So
only
that's where the
that,
lesson is being learned.
not only that, it taught me like based on like from piggybacking off of what he said. Like I recently came out of like a mini leadership position. It was a little detail, and I was consistently getting praise for like how good I'm doing, but like I knew like I can't just because oh my god, like you're so great, good job. Like I can't just like let my foot off the gas. I'm gonna screw over the people that I'm leading.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be taking care of. Like that's bull. Why
Yeah.
would you do that? And also like I lost my train of thought. Give me a second. Like it taught me not to kiss ass.
Complacency. Yeah.
He never raised me to be that way. So like I just I don't do it cuz I'm like, dude, I know who I am internally. Like I know what I bring to the table. I'm a great soldier and I'm not going to kiss your tail just to get what I want. I will get what I want from earning what I get. And if I just don't get it, then the door, God doesn't close the door and doesn't have a better one opening for you. So
I agree.
everything happens for a reason.
Complacency and procrastination is the biggest killer of momentum. So that's why we do what we do. Well, that was great, dear. You answered your stuff well. I don't have to put you in the headlock, which is a good thing. So
maybe we'll discuss that off camera. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
But anyway, look, I greatly appreciate you coming, and I appreciate you guys listening. Y'all take care and Godspeed. And like Rolo says all the time, be the goat, never a sheep, and don't sleep on your dreams. Peace.
Bye.